Greetings and welcome to Monster Legends for another special feeding episode. This time I'm going to be feeding a fella that I picked up from a 2-week challenge. We had to gather all kinds of little things and then go through a rather expensive progressive. Anyway, this is Hyperia. And Hyperia, of course, is a legendary Earth. It is part of the Good Legions, a superhero, but takes time for adventuring. Unfortunately, Hyperia showed up with 2 lock ruin slots. But I am actually going to be taking care of that immediately because we have a discount going right now. And this individual would be utterly useless without 3 open ruin slots. So we're going to go into that soon after we do this. Well, that looked fun. Alright, so let's go in here and talk about Hyperia. Diddy! No, I'm not going with Diddy. Alright, so this is Hyperia. Hyperia is a legendary. Hyperia is Earth. Now, before we go into anything else, it should be noted that this individual is played off as an attacker, and you can kind of see that from the stats before we go into it. The most important thing I can bring up about this individual is its evolving trait. Now, you can see that it starts off with stun immunity, which is pretty good. The most important thing you need to know here is that at rank 1, it gets a status cast for Mega Taunt. So it's going to be part of the trait that it's going to cast Mega Taunt right at the beginning. Now, if you go down to rank 3, you're also going to start with a damage mirror. But I'm not going to be going quite that low. So that is the reason that I have been very interested in this individual. Which means as soon as I'm done, and actually as soon as the rank up thing is available, because I currently have somebody ranking up, I am immediately going to be ranking it up to rank 1, because without the Mega Taunt trait, it's not as useful as it could be. So that's the way I'm playing this. I get another Mega Taunt tank. At the moment, Dunra is the only one I have. Alright, so let's go into stats then, right? Alright, so strength is pretty darn big. Now, as I understand, this one does have some attacking stuff. But let me tell you something. The Mega Taunt and getting hit is really what matters to me. The thing about Mega Taunt tanks is they take all of the attacks from the other enemies, so they're going to get stunned and possessed. Well, he's not going to get stunned. Possessed, frozen, all kinds of things like that. I just want somebody who's going to take the hits while the other 2 members of the team can do the killing. But anyway, this is a really large strength right there. That's actually pretty big. Life is actually not terrific considering I see like denial individuals with the same level of life at this point. I mean, it's good, it's just not outstanding. So that's what the open ruin slots are going to be for. Oh, and that reminds me. I'm going to do it anyway. We might as well get it out of the way. All right, and life, like I mentioned, could be better. Speed isn't necessary. Actually, speed can be a bit of a deterrent sometimes because sitting there and taking all kinds of abuse is kind of what you want a Mega Taunt tank for, I don't really have my eyes on attacking stuff. So speed, a low speed can actually be beneficial sometimes for a Mega Taunt tank. I mean, if you have Curse, you don't want to attack very often, if you know what I mean. Alright, so let's look at the initial skills. Alright, me named Hyperia. Okay, obviously the intelligence is low. Deals low physical damage to 1 enemy, and then we have My Punch Says Hi. Deals moderate earth damage to 1 enemy. And of course, the very interesting special skill, Me Like Destruction. Applies a 100% life shield to itself, deals very heavy earth damage to all enemies, applies quicksands to all enemies, applies shock to all enemies. Okay, he does shocking too. That's quite shocking. Alright, but that's not so bad. That's a pretty good one right there, especially considering it is a tank. So, a life shield? That's not bad at all. Not bad at all. Deep beneath the heart of the forest lives a mythical titan by the name of Hyperia. He feeds the trees above him with golden sap. In an attempt to steal the sap, Darmith and Kai once burnt down part of the forest. But a furious Hyperia raged, through the surface and bury them there. Okay, are they dead? Where they're trapped to this day. Okay, well, I mean, Dartmouth vanished and nobody knew about that? Okay, that's kind of interesting. All right, so let's start with the feeding here. All right, obviously the first evolution is at level 4, so let's get there with tomatoes. Boom, there he is. Very rocky. And he's got a superhero look to him. I see he's got spikes on the fists, too. All right, let's go with the skills. So let's go. Starting at level 7. There's Hyperia for everyone. Deals moderate special damage to one enemy. Deals moderate special damage to all enemies. Okay, so he punches one and it hurts everybody. Okay, that's interesting. It's very low damage, so we're not going to keep it. I mean, it might be interesting if it was a 0 cooldown. That's all I'm saying. All right, let's get to level 10 for another skill. Why so many fails? Deals moderate earth damage to one enemy, 50% chance of applying stun to one enemy. Of course, that's a 0 cooldown, but we're not going to keep that. All right, let's continue to level 15. Arrgh! Double health pool to itself. Okay, so that means the double... That, obviously, I'm going to be keeping because, yeah, that's kind of useful. 3 turns, that's not bad at all. Low speed, and those 3 turns last a long time. You know what I mean? All right, so let's continue to level 20. One Punch Titan. Deals massive earth damage to one enemy, applies quicksands to one enemy. Okay, that's pretty good. We'll put that up there because that's a massive earth punch. Might be very useful. Gives the quicksands torture effect. Kind of useful. All right, let's get to 25. And another skill. Defensive also be good. Okay. Deals moderate earth damage to one enemy, applies daze to one enemy, and gets a 30% life shield to itself. That could be useful. I mean, I'm not keeping that one, so we'll just grab that and move on. Alright, so let's go to level 30. Urgh! Applies Megaton to itself. Applies damage reduction to all enemies. That sounds familiar. That's going there, obviously, because the status cast is only going to last, I believe 3 turns. Then it's going to be gone. So you need to reapply it. So you got to keep that one. I notice I have a lot of tanking stuff going on here. Yes, I do. All right, so let's get to level 35. Control? What's that? Deals moderate earth damage to all enemies, applies daze to all enemies. Well, that's not really very good control there, I just got to tell you there. Yeah, do I even want this one? I mean, daze isn't exactly to live and die for here, and no, actually I don't. I don't want that one. All right, let's move on to level 40. Mean! Okay. Applies damage mirror and taunt to itself. I think I could probably lose this one. I mean, the 30% life shield is kind of nice, I suppose. Is this a life shield? No, that's doubling the pool, so they probably stack. But if you're doing you're going to get hit anyway, a damage mirror is not a bad idea. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I mean, damage mirror is a really good idea, Alright, so let's go. One last skill. One last skill at level... Defensive also be good. Okay, I think I should have one more. I'm not entirely sure about that, but I think I should have one more. But we already seen that one. Let's see... Brutish Power. Removes positive status effects from all enemies. Deals moderate special damage to all enemies. Applies shock to all enemies. That's actually more useful. I mean, I'm not going to be putting any strength on him, even though he has really good strength, But, I mean, this one, you could easily take the defensive skills off of the other team. And besides, you're giving shock to everybody, which is a good torture effect, because it is going to keep extra turners from doing extra turns. So I think if I'm going to have a damage one, I think I'm going to keep this one. And I do believe that that is going to be it. So let's just get all the way up to 60 here. One Punch Titan. Yeah, I mean, that's a good one, but it's not what I'm viewing for the individual. And One Punch Titan. They really want me to take that. I'm just going to pop over here. Control, what's that? Yeah, I mean, days, you know, I'd rather have shock on them. So that's a no-brainer right there. I mean, if it's this one or this one, you know, obviously Brutish Power is the one you're going to take, right? One Punch Titan, that's a good one. It's just that I really prefer the other ones. We're not losing that one, of course. It's the entire basis of the character, right? Being a Megaton tank and having a 100% damage mirror sounds like a really good idea, you know? Really good idea indeed. And of course, also being able to double your health pool is good too. I'm hoping that's your normal maximum and not the current one. But 3 turns of that sounds pretty darn good. And yeah, that one was okay, but nah, I mean, the ones I got are much better. I'd rather have the damage shield in that one. All right, so we're good to go with that. So let's take a look at the stats. Okay, that is a really good strength. I don't know if I've seen anybody who had a strength as well. You know, that's nearly 2,400. I don't think I've seen anybody who's got one like that. At least none jump to my mind at the moment. So a lot of strength. Could we move that to somebody else? Because that would be really awesome. All right, the life is good, but I mean, it could be better. So, I mean, a good base health, considering I'm going to put life across the board on this individual, would be a better idea. Speed's, yeah, it's not so terrific, you know, but I mean, that's okay. I wouldn't mind slowing it down a little bit there, you know, because like I said, if you get nasty stuff on you, every time your turn comes up, that's when it starts ticking down on you, you know. So, especially if you're like possessed or something, and as soon as you get your turn coming up, you're going to do something to your own team. All right, anyway, let's take a quick look at the skills, again, from the beginning here. This is, I'm not sure how to pronounce that one. Applies Megaton to itself. Applies damage reduction to all enemies. All right, this was very similar. Is this very similar to Dunraz? I'm not sure if it was Dunraz who actually did this. Anyway, this one will reapply or apply, depending on how you have it ranked up, the Megaton to itself. And we'll also hit the other side with damage reduction. It's only going to be like a 25%, but considering they're all going to be hitting you, reducing anything is probably a good idea, right? So you really got to have this one. Even if it's coming from the status cast, it could easily be removed with positive status effects removal or something like that. Being able to reapply it is just a really good idea. All right, then we have this one. This is the only real attack going on here. Brutish Power. Removes positive status effects from all enemies, deals moderate special damage to all enemies, applies shock to all enemies. But this is a pretty good attack here, right? Now, it's high moderate. The base strength is pretty good, but I'm not putting any strength on it. But the fact that it removes positive status effects could be very good. I mean, if there's another Hyperia on the other side, then you just remove positive status effects from it, which means it's not mega taunting anymore. And it doesn't maybe have the double health or all that kind of stuff. So that's actually very useful. Also, applying shock, it's a good torture effect, but it also will keep individuals from extra turning, which is very, very useful, considering that they're probably all going to be hitting you. All right, that's a good skill. Good skill. Then we have Mean. Okay, I'm not even sure what that's supposed to be, but this one applies a damage mirror and taunt to itself. Now, regular taunt is not necessary because I consider this individual, I want them like mega taunting all the time. However, a 100% damage mirror could be very, very useful. If everybody is hitting you and you're just going to return that damage to them 100%, that sounds like a really good, useful thing to have. And then we have, yeah, these names, really. Doubles health pool of itself. Requires cooldown. All right, this one, actually, it's got the lowest cooldown. Everything else is 3. What this means, of course, it's going to double the life of the individual. I'm hoping that's the base life and not the current life. And that's going to be very good considering the individual is going to get hit a lot, right? Now, it lasts for 3 turns, 1 round cooldown. You could probably use this one a bunch. So the combination of items here, I leaned very heavily on the tanking stuff. I have but 1 attack here, but that is my entire motivation for going after this individual. And like I said, I am immediately going to be ranking them up to rank 1 in order to get the status cast for Megataunt, because That's just why I want this individual. I want another Megaton tank. I only have one. I now will have two. So I'm going to get to work on that immediately. And let me tell you something. Pretty much as soon as this individual is ready, I'm probably going to do a testing video because I want to get this one. There's a couple others I want to get available immediately. But I have been waiting for Hyperia because that's the one I want to have available, like I said, as soon as possible. Now, in terms of runes, yeah, life, right across. It really kind of sad that the strength is just really so good considering I'm not going to use it. You know, I mean, that kind of strength on a major damage dealer would just be amazing. It's just that I do not intend to use this individual that way. Now, I'm not going to be able to get the life up to the level of Dun Ra because I believe Dun Ra had a much better starting life. But I mean, I'm going to do what I can to get it up there. For me, a Megaton tank exists in order for my other two individuals in the team to kill everybody in complete safety. What, in case I didn't make it clear, what Megataunting means is that if you're in a team and you have a Megataunt, any attack the other team does is going to go right to that individual, including group attacks, which means they're going to get 3 attacks, which means they have to be as chunky as possible. So I'm going to take the best lives I have right now that are not on Dun Ra, or on Korra, that is, and I'm going to put them right here. I've actually been trying to rank up a couple. I have some 6s there. I might actually reach to the well in terms of buying another box from the team store just to see if I can get, even if I get a 7 health, it'll be good. If I could get a really good one, that would be better. Of course, if I got like a 10, I'd put that on Dun Ra and take one of Dun Ra's and put it on him. Because Dun Ra is always going to be my main lady for Megataunting. Anyway, this is Hyperia. Is he good? There are some people who disagree. However, if he's an effective Megataunt tank for me, I'm going to call him great. And we're going to have to see how that works out. Anyway, thank you very much for your attention. I really appreciate it. And play games because games are fun. See ya.